Good morning, folks. So now we're going to talk about the wonderfully disappointing box office returns of Birds of Prey and the argument that it's being blamed on sexism, which is which is a strange thing. It's like blaming a philosophical idea or a sociological idea on why something is not selling or why people aren't consuming a product. It's a very odd thing to argue, but we're going to see what people on Twitter have to say about that. Let's start off with the actual post. Birds of Prey, or Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. What a title or subtitle. Or Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Yes, the movie has been referred to by three different titles, the last of which came after Warner Brothers decided to change the title for movie theaters, which is just why would I, which focus group did they listen to? Say, okay, we got to change all the print, got to change all the the ticket stubs, everything, all the posters, everything's got to go. I don't know how much money they spent on that, but just imagine they had to do that because they thought the movie would sell better if they did. Personally, I think the third one is the one they should have went with in the first place. I actually like this one. This is crazy just because it's so ridiculous. If you saw that at a movie theater, imagine how much print you have to put on the poster just to get the title in there. Personally, I think the third one is the one that should. The movie, for whatever reason, had a disappointing opening weekend at the box office, coming in well below initial projections for a DC comic books film. So I don't know how much money they spent on marketing, but I think they spent about $100 million on the production, which is pretty good for this type of sub character film. And there's lots of reasons why this probably isn't doing well. The most obvious one is almost an indirect sequel to the previous movie, which didn't do so well, and you have one of the main characters in charge of that. Additionally, the main character in this story is a villain, and we're supposed to feel sorry for her in her villainous ways, which is possible. You can't have drama for villains or characters you dislike. And it's difficult, though, to put the antagonist in the protagonist role. So there has to be something appealing and attractive from multiple levels and multiple angles for you to want to watch a story or listen or read about a story about that character. It can work. It can happen. You just have to be very careful in how you do it. Because, as we know, antagonists are some of the hardest things to write in a story. So there's nothing wrong with putting an antagonist as the hero of a new story. You just have to really know what the devil you're doing. So, one of the funniest arguments is, of course, the sexism. And here we're going to go through a whole bunch of tweets from that. Do you guys realize that the main reason why this movie is doing bad in the box office is sexism? No, I'm not. No explanation, but let's see what they have to say. It's not about the critics' currently 81% score on Rotten Tomatoes or not being fond with superhero movies. Joker is literally nominated for an Oscar. It's because of the women. Now, this disregards what the actual value of critics on Rotten Tomatoes even means, does not translate to box office returns, nor does it actually address why Joker is attracted or did so well and has won all these awards and is probably getting a sequel. They're not addressing why films are good. They're just saying, oh, this is not selling well. It must be because of sexism. And we don't know what kind of sexism that is. Is it men against women? Is it women against women? We don't know. Maybe it's women against men. I don't know. They just say sexism. It could be anything. Just watched Birds of Prey and I never been gayer? What? I just watched Birds of Prey and I've never been gayer. The Huntress and Harley Quinn can get this. The Canary will treat me right. I just know it. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Anyways, that movie is good. And the only reason it's flopping is because of sexism. Again, no explanation. I like it. Everyone else who doesn't like it is sexist. I'm sure there'll be lots of pieces on why Birds of Prey is underwhelming. Not really. No one wants to see it. It's not likable. Marketing didn't work for some people. But let's be real here. It's sexism. Sexism is the main reason. Again, all these statements, no explanation, no facts and figures. No, I've never read a review of the movie that said, oh, I hate this movie because I hate women. And you'll probably never will, because that's why would a reviewer character assassinate themselves? That's stupid. It's just this funny. It must be because it must be. Of course, it must be sexism. There's no other explanation. Birds of Prey, 81% Rotten Tomatoes, primarily female diverse cast. Well, there's your problem right there. I mean, give us a reason why you have a diverse cast that happen to be female. That's like we were talking about comic book movies. Comic books are made primarily for men or young men. So you have to know your audience. 33 million opening weekend. Batman v Superman, again, horrible movie. 20% Rotten Tomatoes. Basic superhero trope, weak plot, little diversity. 106 million opening weekend. Okay, this is... I don't know who this person is, but this person does not know comic books. Batman and Superman, the two biggest names in the DC roster. Probably Batman's the biggest name in comic books. Of course you're going to get people in the door by saying anything Batman. Birds of Prey. If you know anything about the comic book, Harley Quinn is not one of the birds of prey. So people who know the comic go, oh yeah, this is a very specific comic, an offshoot of the Batman mythos, probably several leagues removed or several degrees of separation. I don't know how far, because I've never read the actual comic. Based off a movie that didn't really resonate very well with most people. That movie being Suicide Squad. Do people want to put their time and money in a product they didn't like the first time round? Probably not. But no, it's sexism. Totally. Yeah, it's just all sexism. That's really the reason. Person does not know comics. Person does not know comic book movies. Quoting about comic book movies. Birds of Prey is very, very good. Go see it. It's only not doing well because sexism. Again, nonsense. No statement of fact. Sexism is definitely an underlying reason why Birds of Prey is bombing at the box office. Oh, a movie is not doing well because people have a bad philosophy. It's not a very good explanation for a lack of motivation. It's a very odd thing to say. But I stand by that the poor marketing did a lot too, and that's on Warner Brothers. You know what? I thought the marketing was pretty good. I saw the two trailers. I thought that's an attractive looking, colorful, strange movie. Like one of those weird, like maybe a flavor of Shazam style thing. Maybe it might be good. I don't know. But I like the trailers. And believe it or not, this one expression from Harley Quinn, I really like. Like obviously Margot Robbie is a very attractive actress and a very effective underwear model. And her transition from model to actress is great, fantastic. Kudos to all her training and experiences in acting. I don't know. It could be. She could be great. I don't care. But she looks amazing. I have to give it to her genetics, her mom and dad, and her acting coaches, the makeup, the wardrobe. I don't know about the wardrobe, but looks like Harley Quinn to me. And it's not to say the character in Harley Quinn, especially in popular culture, has been bad. There is the Harley Quinn TV series, which is an animated adult series about Harley Quinn, and she's breaking up with the Joker. It's essentially the movie that people have been watching for the past season. I think there's a second season coming out, and that's great. I watched a few clips on YouTube. Fantastic series. It's adult. It has lots of violence, has lots of swearing, has adult scenarios, is implied sex, which is fine. But they know their audience. They know how to make a joke, and they know what to do with these second-rate or these sidekick-style characters like Poison Ivy. I think there's some shark character. I don't know. There's Clayface, which is fantastic. If anyone remembers Batman, the animated series, Clayface was one of the first villains on there. And they just ham it up. It's such a brilliant idea. And that's one way to give the audience what they expect and to do a twist on things, make it adult. So it's not for everyone, because you think of Harley Quinn as, okay, she's the sidekick, unimportant character. But if you give her the spotlight and you crack jokes at the villain trope or the villain culture, it's fun and entertaining. At least I found it fun and entertaining. Some people don't. That's fine. Which explains why people don't see Birds of Prey. They don't want to go watch some villains. It's a simple explanation. I see one more tweet made by a man about how there isn't sexism towards Birds of Prey. I'm going to combust. Again, show us the line of dialogue from a reviewer or a critic saying something sexist about the movie. That's all you got to do. Be honest. How many of your homies are hype for teams of women? Honestly, I would love to see a team of women. I would love to see a team of women superheroes on the basis alone that they're female, which is a sexist statement, but I will stand by that because females are attractive. So if you give me some females to look at and they happen to be superheroes, I'm on board on that idea alone. But there comes with that all these caveats, their motivation, who are they, do they come from a background of lore that I can reference? Is it an adaptation, meaning is it something new? Are they reinventing it? Etc., etc. I don't just dive in because of boobs. That's silly. I want to be attracted to something more than just the surface level. So that's a positive form of sexism, which I just gave as to why I would see a film based purely on women as the selling point. You expect me to believe that Birds of Prey is doing poorly despite being extremely similar in tone and humor to Deadpool and starring a highly, highly popular character, Harley Quinn, for any other reason than sexism. Now, in this case, this person does not know how popular Harley Quinn is. She's not that popular. Deadpool is designed to be a fourth wall breaking joke. That is a big contrast to Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn might have some fourth breaking moments in this movie, but she's not known for that. I went to go see Deadpool in the theaters, Deadpool 1, on the basis alone because I knew what he was. And the fact that that movie was even made and existed. And the story behind Ryan Reynolds and how that movie came about. And to see it on the screen was amazing. I thought, what a great concept to get that out the door. And what a great experience. Deadpool 2 was a mixed bag, but it's still entertaining. So I know what I'm getting into with Deadpool. Harley Quinn, You see, if Deadpool was in a really bad Marvel film and Ryan Reynolds was the star, or rather, Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool in that film and it was a bad film, I'd be like, ooh, I would not want to see more of that, which is what Birds of Prey is. I don't want to go see a Birds of Prey knockoff. Who the hell would want to? Again, this image does it for me, being attractive to put me in the seat, but it's not enough to put me in the seat. It's a step in the right direction. You got that sort of wincing, I'm about to be in a fight sort of look. I like that. And Margot Robbie, again, fantastic looking face. Good stuff, but not enough to put me in the seat. The blatant sexism around the conversations about Birds of Prey is wild. Show me an example. It's funny what kind of standards everyone holds women-centric films to. I don't have any standards to women-centric films. In fact, I wouldn't mind a woman-centric film. I've watched a few in the past. But if we're talking about superheroes, superheroes are fantasies. You have to have attractive women. You have to do that, which they do have in Margot Robbie. I don't know about the other females. I know they certainly don't look like their comic book counterparts. Maybe they're going for the more Nolan Ryan style, or rather Christopher Nolan style of a gritty comic book dumb, which I don't think they're doing because obviously Suicide Squad was a mess. So, and look at her wardrobe; it's ridiculous. It's all colorful and crazy. So that would be something to look at. But I don't know what standards this person is referring to. Everything has to be perfect. Yes, a story has to be perfect. That's true. Every piece of marketing has to resonate and hit you. Boom, boom, boom. It has to hook you in. After it punches you, it leaves its talons in you and it pulls you in. So you want to see more and more marketing until you finally say, I got to go watch this movie. That's what marketing is supposed to do. But dude bro movies can lack good actors, storylines, and logic and still be praised. That's true. You could have bad movies and they could be praised for other reasons. I don't know about dude bro. I don't even know what a dude bro movie is. I haven't watched them. I'm guessing he's talking or she's talking about Transformers or Need for those speed movies where it's all about cars, which I still have not watched. Maybe. I mean, you go into those movies knowing what you're getting into. You're going into these crazy, ridiculous stunts and CGI That's the point of those movies. With a movie like Birds of Prey, I'm like, oh, this is not Birds of Prey. Oh, this is based off a crap movie I saw before. Oh, this is about a character I don't really care about, even though she's attractive to look at. That's what the mentality is for me, thinking about this movie. That's it. It's not enough. And I don't believe they actually went through with making it, but they did. I'm so disappointed by Birds of Prey box office and what it says about the male audience for superhero films. Why? What the hell do you care about the male audience? Who are you? Here's my controversial take. Don't hate me. The movie didn't pull teenage boys because Margot Robbie didn't want Harley Quinn to be sexualized as she is in Suicide Squad. What a strange thing to say. My controversial take. Didn't pull teenage boys because Margot Robbie didn't want Harley Quinn to be sexual. She's pretty attractive. I don't know about sexuality, but you put an attractive woman in a movie, it doesn't take much to make her sexualized. She's already on the screen in big Technicolor lighting. Yes, you could do things with makeup and wardrobe just to change that, but she's an attractive actress. She has attractive noises coming out of her mouth, whatever lines of dialogue that are given to her. That's not an argument. And to say it's didn't pull in teenage boys, well, what are you talking about? Male audience? Like what? Teenage boys can go spend their money on whatever they like. Apparently they didn't on this movie. Reasons Birds of Prey underperformed this weekend. DC was barely promoting it. No. The trailers weren't well put together. Maybe the poster is atrocious. I don't know the poster. And then sexism. Again, no explanation why sexism. There hasn't been good female-led comic book movies in recent cinema, so everyone assumes the worst. Nope. No, we have reasons why this doesn't appeal to people, as I've listed. I'm not the first one on here to compare both films, but the sexism, misogyny. Okay, so not only is there sexism, so favoring one gender over the other, or one sex over the other, there's misogyny, so a hatred towards women, which again, these are two different statements, and lack of consistency. Well, that's a good point. Lack of consistency. I'm curious exactly what consistency she's referring to, and I'm assuming this is a female, that has Ford versus Ferrari being called a box office success, maybe because it made more money? I don't know. I have no idea. She's comparing two different movies as an utter failure, which has me shaking my head. Yeah, this is interesting. So she's comparing the returns. So Ford versus whatever didn't do so well, and it's very similar to that. And the production budget is roughly the same. We're talking about 10 million difference, close to 100 million. Yeah, this is a fine question. But again, you're loading it up with this sexism and then misogyny. This is not how you have a point. If she eliminated, or this person eliminated these two statements or these two words, then great, that would have worked. That would have you would have had an argument. Why? What makes this a failure and the other one not? I don't know. Who is saying that with these numbers that this movie was a box office success? I'm curious who's saying that, aside from this person who thinks that's true. So, very odd statements so far we've got from all these people. The fact Joker making over $1 billion with mediocre reviews and a toxic message. Oh my God. This person even see the movie? While Birds of Prey is struggling to make any money with much better reviews and a better story, okay. You can't just say these are better stories. You're comparing two very different things. So, confirmation bias. I don't know how much bias do we have in all these tweets is astounding. Now here we have Ewan McGregor talking about his part or the film in general, which is very interesting to me. What interested me in Birds of Prey is that it's a feminist film. Okay, could be good, could be bad, could go either way. It is very finely written. Really. There is in the script a real look on misogyny. Good, that's fine. And I think we need that. Okay, maybe we do. We need to be more aware of how we behave with the opposite sex. We need to be taught to change. That's fine. Any movie usually has a lesson, a good movie or a good story has a lesson, an ethic that it has to teach the audience, hopefully in a subtle and overarching way, not in a down your throat sort of way, which sounds to me, from the reviews I've listened to, that's what this movie's about. Every turn, it's misogynistic. It's like boom, 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 hate women, hate women, hate women. And you know what? That's fine. You can do that in your story, if that's the message of your story. Guess what? Guys don't want to see that. We don't care about how some men hate certain women or some women. We want a fantasy. We want to be transported into another realm where we don't have to worry about all these things we may have experienced in real life, like people hating other people for whatever reason. That's all we want. We don't want to be attacked, is another good thing to say, for being males, especially from these people who are attacking others in general, not anyone specific, because they can never narrowly point to someone, because there's no evidence. If there would be evidence, then we'd have something to talk about. They're just saying, oh, this is all just people hate women, specifically men. Because why would women hate themselves, right? Women never hate themselves. No, no, no. Especially not in a fantasy film. He added, misogynist movies are often extreme. They rape, they beat, and it is legitimate to represent people like that. That's true, because they exist, and they're obviously the worst. Sure. Plenty of stories that are good talk about disparaging elements, controversial stories, or things that make you uncomfortable. That is good. Tackling a difficult subject is good. But in the Birds of Prey dialogues, there's always a hint of everyday misogyny. And those things you say as a man, you do not even realize. Mansplaining, okay, this is not, yeah. Ewan, if you said this, I would never see this movie. I would never spend any money or time on this. It's in the script in a very subtle way. How do you put mansplaining in a subtle way? What is that exactly now? And he liked that. Well, I'm sure he has many reasons for starring in a film aside from a paycheck, but you're not helping your cause there, sir. And here we go. This is exactly my opinion here. Some said those comments made them uninterested. I watch movies to avoid reality and suspend disbelief. Exactly. To be entertained. To go to another world. To think of different things. To see them on the screen. To hear amazing sounds of these things on the screen. So when Ewan McGregor tells the world this movie is a misogyny lecture, what is my incentive to see Birds of Prey? And why the hell does Black Canary look like Vixen? If only Ewan McGregor and co. had kept their yap shut about toxic and misogyny, then Birds of Prey might have gotten a better chance. I think this adds to it. I don't think it's his fault, though. The media made it very clear that Birds of Prey is just a gender studies lecture loosely disguised as a film. That means it is going to spend more energy hating and lecturing men than trying to be a good film. Thus, men couldn't care less. Exactly. That's bad. It's bad writing. You don't want to lecture your audience. Doesn't matter what the message is. You don't lecture your audience. You don't shove it down their throats. You beat them over the head with a feather. You do it subtly. You are subtle about these things. And you combine that with good acting and good actresses and good set design, etc., etc. I'm so disappointed by Birds of Prey box office and what it says about the male audience. Yep, we just read that. I hate big mouth morons who spout out claims like this. Yeah, it's a simple way of putting it. Call me a moron, but I'm just not interested in getting a hypocritical lecture about toxic masculinity. Oof. It's just a sad... I can keep going here, but this is just... You see how the answer reveals itself through people who think they know better? It is the very inclusion into the conversation that makes us... It's like you just hold up a mirror and say, keep going. Yep, keep saying what you're saying. And that's all you have to do. Because they have no evidence. They have no stats. They have no argument to be made. And they're blaming men for being men. And there's nothing wrong with being a man. There's nothing wrong with being a woman. And it's just, this could have been a great movie. This could have been an entertaining, fun ride. And because it was, as far as I know, I haven't seen it, because it's been shoveling this political message down our throats, it prevents people from watching it and doing well. And there's nothing wrong with talking about misogyny. There's nothing wrong with displaying it in a certain light. But you have to do it with the concern of your audience and with the concern of the medium you're using, the movie format, to properly tell a story of this character, Harley Quinzel, trying to emancipate or relieve herself of her horrible relationship with the Joker into a better life. That could have been a fantastic story, and it is a fantastic story. We have other media to watch. We have multiple episodes of Harley Quinn going back against the Joker. We have an entire series now, animated, an adult series, which is not for everyone, but showcasing that relationship and how she goes off on other adventures with her friends, relieving herself of that bad relationship with the Joker. So this story could have worked. The premise was there. It came from a very bad other movie, which has, you're fighting a dragon while climbing a mountain. Very difficult to do. But these guys did it. And they did a bad job about it because they preached to the audience instead of being subtle about it and telling a good story at the core. And instead, well, I don't know exactly what this movie's about, but it seems to be just a preaching story about how men are bad. And that's it, unfortunately. So thanks for listening, folks. And I hope you're watching some good movies that are entertaining. If there are any out there, please tell me, because I haven't gone out in a while. I have a lot of time on my hands to watch movies and make some recommendations. I'd be happy to look at them. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.